Graeme, how much are you looking forward to the challenge of Aberdeen, given they're ahead and bouncing back after the last couple of results?
It's a really good opportunity for the players and the team to put something right and to put a really good performance in front of our crowd and actually give our fans a lift. I think that's really important. As I said, it's a fantastic opportunity to go and measure ourselves against a good team, but to go and actually get some points on the board.
You've been at this club for a while now. How much are you aware of the rivalry between the two teams?
I was made aware fairly quickly. There is a massive rivalry, and I know Ryan took a little bit of stick when he joined us, but as far as I'm concerned, that's why you join Rangers. You join the biggest clubs to play in the biggest games, and you want your biggest personalities to really step up in those games. So it's an opportunity for those guys to see what this game's about and also put a marker down for where we want to be.
So many times we've been asking Pedro or yourself about winning 3 in a row. Now you're trying to avoid losing 3 in a row. Is that something that have you got the reaction in training this week from the guys given recent results?
Players were frustrated, the players were angry, mainly because the way that we performed wasn't indicative of how they train. I said to the players, it's about performance now. A week's training means nothing. They need to present themselves how they want to be perceived, and we want to be perceived as a proper Rangers team that embodies the values of this football club, and we need to make sure that on Wednesday night we go and do that.
Given that these 2 games have been in the calendar for a while now, you've been taking things on a game per game basis, but did you still expect to be in charge by now? Do you expected it to be sorted out by now? We
had it planned, we had it prepped, we've got a schedule up on the board. We showed the players the schedule recently to show that everyone is going to be utilised and needed, because we've got 3 games in 10 days. And we'd planned and prepped for it. If situation had changed, then that's fine, but we needed to make sure that we had plans in place to cope with these games as and when they came. The plans are there, the plans are ready. So the players will be prepped, and the staff have done some fantastic work in showing Aberdeen's strengths and also areas where we think we can hurt them.
Ideally for games against a team that is above you, would you have had a new manager in charge? Would you have rather somebody else been in charge for these games? My wishes are fairly irrelevant, as I've said the whole way through. We have to deal with reality. The players have to deal with reality, and we don't want to have the excuse of any uncertainty. The players know what's ahead of them. The players know what their task is, they know what their job is. They just have to go out and execute and perform at the highest level if we want to go and get anything.
Graeme, last week you said you felt it was better for everybody connected to the football club that an appointment was made sooner rather than later. What discussions have you had with the boardroom since then? I've
discussed with Mark Allen, I've discussed with Stuart Robertson that the process is ongoing. There has been movement, but we're not quite there yet. And I think that to get the next 5, 6, 7 years right, we need to take our time now to get this appointment right, because in the next 5 years we want to be at the top of this league. We want to be closing the gap or even surpassing our opponents on the other side of the city, getting past Aberdeen and making sure we're at the top table of Scottish football. If we take a little bit more time now to get this appointment right, we actually get the next 5 years of progress, securing the future of this football club at the top of the league, and that's crucial to the football team.
When you look at the players, do you think some of the results in recent games have been affected by the uncertainty as the backdrop of the football club?
No, I've seen the players react brilliantly well to going behind at Murrayfield to a fantastic free kick and then going and taking the game by the scruff of the neck. I've seen them react not so well to going behind. I've seen them react well at Dens Park to going behind and then making a critical mistake and losing a goal. So I've seen the players react in a positive manner. It's up to us to make sure we enhance that mindset, we embrace that mindset of strength, rather than actually looking out with the group and making sure we know that no matter what Aberdeen or any opponent throw at us, we're strong enough and good enough to cope with it.
Graeme, you just said the club's making movement on the manager. Do you think that's been accelerated with the lack of wins in the last couple of games? Do you think it's forced the board to play their hand a bit and make a move?
You'd have to ask the board that. I'm not in a position to comment on that.
From the outside looking in, it looks like a little bit of a mess. There's been an impasse in the managerial situation. There's not been a manager appointment made for over a month now. You're the 20s coach, you've been stepping up to take interim charge. Meanwhile, the team are going out losing games, performances aren't as they've been expected. Do you think there's a danger of the credibility of the football club being called into question by this impasse?
I don't think so. I think we have to make sure that we won the first 2 games, They had a really good reaction. If we'd have won the game at Hamilton, which we could and should have done, we could have got something out of the game at Dens Park, the club would be in a better situation. However, I reiterate, it's about performance. The players need to make sure that the performance is taken care of, because then, with 2 good results in the last games, people are more relaxed, they're more sanguine, they actually give the board time. What we need to do is make sure, as players, as coaches, we give the whole football club a lift on Wednesday, and we take away any further questions of this ilk by making sure that on the pitch things are taken care of properly, because regardless of whether I'm in charge or a new manager's in charge, the players and the squad will still be the same. So it's up to the players and the squad to make sure that we step up and give our fans something to cheer about on Wednesday evening.
Do you have any concerns about reputational damage inflicted on yourself for being in this situation? And if this run of not being able to win games, it could extend to 3 tomorrow night. I know you won't be thinking like that, but do you have any concerns about the reputational damage it might be doing to yourself?
I'm more concerned with character, because character is who you truly are. Reputation is just what other people outside the group think of you, and I can't control what people out with the group think of me. I'm more concerned with how I go about my business on a daily basis, and I think the players should be more concerned with that. If their character is correct, if the way they approach the games is correct, then reputation will be enhanced. But you can't worry about reputation. I would take character over reputation any day of the week.
Given that then, Graeme, you were very honest after the game against Dundee. Do you feel you've got the reaction, you've got that respect, and they believe in you in that dressing room just now?
I think so. All the feedback I get from the players is that way. I certainly got a reaction in the first game at Murrayfield, a reaction in the second game. What we saw on the pitch is reaction to situations out with our control. Going behind to a really poor goal, making a mistake at Ibrox, going behind at Dens Park, and then losing a little bit of belief in our process. That's how things happen, but we have to make sure that that's not under my control. That's not a reflection of the players' belief in myself at all, in my opinion. It's a reflection of, actually, do you know what, things aren't quite working for us.
Given that then, are you able to go in and be absolutely brutally honest, given that you'll revert back to your old role, or do you feel that you have to try and get them on side, and it's that positive criticism that you have, their constructive criticism?
I think that if they think I care about them personally, which I think they do, because we're building relationships all the time, they will take whatever criticism comes their way, because they know I'm being professional. It's not personal. I'm making sure that we get our professional things right on the football pitch. That's the aim. It's always the aim. So they know where I'm coming from. I'm not coming from a personal point of view to dig them out. I'm coming from a professional point of view to improve performance. And pleasingly, in the week, the players have been in that manner to one another when analysing performance, holding each other to higher standards of account, making sure that these mistakes are held up so that they don't happen again.
If you're able to win both games against Aberdeen, you're actually in a decent position in terms of second place. Is that, maybe would you have to try and look at the positive?
I think if we'd have executed and taken our chances against Hamilton, then we'd be further up. We'd be in a really good position. We'd be putting pressure on Aberdeen. If we then go and execute at Dundee, we'd be in a great position. But you can speculate and you can talk about would and should and could. It won't matter until we actually go and do it and take the opportunity. It's about grasping the opportunity that's ahead of us, not be being fearful about playing Aberdeen. Aberdeen are coming to Ibrox. They're coming to our home ground. It's time for us to stand up and be strong and grasp the opportunity of going and taking the 3 points. And if they go and do that with that mentality, then that in itself applies pressure regardless of points.
The home form's not been great so far this season in terms of results.
You're a little ray of sunshine, aren't you?
Sorry, pal. Away form has been fine. You had 3 wins in a row before Dundee. Why is that difference between home and away?
Possibly a weight of expectation. Possibly when you look at away teams coming to our place and sitting in further and deeper, then it makes it more difficult for us to go and break them down. I don't actually expect that from Aberdeen. I expect them to come and have a go at us. So that possibly gives us more opportunity to go and express ourselves and play. But we have to find the solutions to whatever is put in front of us, home or away. We didn't do that well enough in the last 2 games. I'm hopeful that we can do that on Wednesday.
How close is Bruno Alves to making it?
Bruno's fit. Bruno's available for selection.
He'd be in the squad?
Yep.
Any other team news?
Alfredo at the moment is under the care of our physios. He took a really nasty bang to his iliac crest. He's got a lot of swelling in that area. He's very sore, and it's too soon to make a a decision on him, but we'll be making a decision on him closer to the time.
And the rest of the injured lads like Lee Wallace and people like that still?
Yeah. They remain as they were. Graham Dorrans has just got back from London from his second course. Lee is progressing on really well. And Jordan is going day by day with the physios at the moment. I'm sorry I can't give you greater detail on that, but that's just what we have at the moment.